Peace, everyone. Grand Rising. This is Angela Jordan Perry, the owner, administrator, and director of this Option 3 Accountability Association here in the state of South Carolina. So, this is what I do. I talk to people every day, pretty much almost every day, about homeschooling legally, keyword legally, in the state of South Carolina. I just had a conversation yesterday, which reminded me I probably need to do a new video about how to homeschool legally in the state of South Carolina. And be sure not to homeschool illegally. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. So I'm going to jump into that and just help you understand what you need to do. It's very, very simple, but I'm going to jump in here and share with you some things that you need to do, some steps you need to take in order to homeschool legally in the state of South Carolina. But first, let me let you know a little bit about myself. I am a homeschool mom now of 19 years. I have 8 children, 3 of whom we have graduated all the way through homeschool, and now they're grown adults. Either they went off to college, one went off to the military, and one had started their own business, and are thriving adults who homeschool. They're socially sound, meaning they did not miss any socialization. I have been a life partner for 27 years, and we make our home in the upstate area of South Carolina. And my purpose-driven life is to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers worldwide. I start that impact right here in South Carolina, serving members all over the state in homeschooling, coaching, equipping, holding hands, giving encouragement across many platforms to those of you in South Carolina. My reach also extends to those outside of South Carolina, over the country, and throughout the world now. I have a platform called Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling, Girlfriend's Chat, which is a podcast, and Educating Our Own, and newly is the Homeschool Upstart. The first 3, Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling, Girlfriend's Chat, which is a podcast, and Educating Our Own is an encouragement to encourage those who are of the African diaspora community to homeschool and to encourage them to continue to do so well, okay? The Homeschool Upstart, you can learn more if you just go to thehomeschoolupstart.com. You can learn more about that, all right? So that's just a little bit about myself. I love to exercise. I'm a vegan, and I just love helping folks homeschool and to do so successfully. Okay, so with that in mind, listen, don't homeschool illegally in the state. And let me tell you what that looks like. I am no longer going to send my kids to public school, and we are going to stay home and I'm going to school them. Let me get the books and let's start. Well, you just can't do it that way. There's some steps you have to do. South Carolina has some regulations in place in which we all have to follow if we would like to homeschool in the state. First of all, you need to know that there's 3 options that you have that you can fall under. You can't just say, I'm going to homeschool and just be on your own. You have to be accountable to one of these 3 options. Option 1 is where you're under public school. You're still connected to public school. You're just allowing the kids to be in your home and have their schooling at home. It's usually connected with K-12 or connections or something of that nature. But it's public school, but it's just in your home. Okay, does that make sense? They're on a computer. The public school teacher is educating them. They're responsible for their grades. They're responsible for testing. They're responsible for knowing their attendance. They are educating and teaching your children in home, connected to public school. That's option 1. Now, option 2 is a group called Skits, South Carolina Association of Independent Homeschoolers. I hope I got that right. I always kind of mess it up, but you can look them up online. When homeschooling first became legal in the state, everyone had to fall under Skits. They were written into law. That was the only option, option 1 or then option 2. If you didn't want public school connected to your schooling, then you had to fall under option 2. You can go to the website and learn more about them. I won't go into detail because I'm an option 3 director and owner of an accountability association, okay? So under option three came about because many felt they didn't want to be connected to public school. They didn't want to follow the regulations, which they felt may have been a little bit stricter under Skits, which was option 2. They didn't want to have so many hours in a day they had to school. They didn't want to have someone else approve their curriculum. They didn't want to have to give accountability to someone else in such a strict manner to an entity. So option 3 came along. Yay! And that gives us a lot more freedoms. All right, so let me tell you what you have to do. If you have a student in public school, okay, they've been in public school, that has been their journey, and you no longer want that for them, and you want to homeschool, you first have to join an association. Option 3, that's what I'm going to talk about. If you decide to do public school, you don't have to listen to this part. If you're going to do option 2, then you can listen to a little bit, but you need to go to their website, Schais, schais.com, I think that's what it is, and learn what they want to do. But if you want these freedoms, then this is what you have to do. You have to join an option 3 accountability association first, okay? Once you join and you receive that membership, then you need to take that evidence that you're now legally homeschooling under an auspices of an association, United Community Homeschoolers Unlimited. Take the membership package that I'm going to give you, take it to the public school and present it and say, hey, I am now legally homeschooling. I will be withdrawing my child from public school. They will not be returning to public school. They should then give you something to sign in which that verifies they know your child is not returning to public school. You are legally homeschooling under the auspices of an association, United Community Homeschoolers Unlimited. All right, you're following the law. Now, that's important because, hey there, that's important because if you don't do those steps, if you don't officially withdraw them from public school here in South Carolina, and they're expecting your child to return to school, but they don't, then you will fall into a situation called truancy. Being truant or into truancy. That basically means you are not providing education under legal status, either through public school or homeschooling. And so now you are in big trouble with the law, okay? A lot of things happen and transpires at that point once they discover truancy. Truancy is now 10 days not having your child in public school when they were expecting them to go back. So I think school starts August the 25th, I think public school, I'm not really sure. But whenever that day starts and they're expecting your child to come back and 10 days have gone by and they're not there, they will come, they may even call you, knock on the door or something like that, or they may not do any of that. And when I say they, meaning the public school or the district. And they will say, Jeremiah have not been in school, it's 10 days, you are now truant. They can inform you of that, what's going on, where are they at, or they can just call the legal authorities at that time. The legal authorities will come in, and then that's a whole nother can of worms you have to deal with if you discover to be homeschooling illegally. Homeschooling illegally means you're not with option 1, public schooling in your home. You're not with option 2 under Skits, and you have not joined under my association or any association in the state under option 3, okay? All right, so once you have joined, you have received the okay that you are now officially a member, all right? You take that membership paperwork to the public school and let them know that you're legally homeschooling, sign the paperwork, withdraw them. Yes, now, before you want to consider that, the most important thing that the law says you must have under all 3 of them, is that you have to have a GED or higher. Okay, so if you don't have a GED or higher, GED or high school diploma or college, associate degree, bachelor's, master's, anything, GED or higher, if you don't have any of those things, then you cannot, everything comes to a halt. You cannot legally homeschool your children, okay? You cannot legally homeschool them, at least I know under option 2 and 3. Under option 1, I'm not sure, I have to research, but you could do the same, just research. You have to have a GED or higher, all right? If you do have a GED or higher, then you are okay to continue on your journey to consider homeschooling your children, all right? You now have a GED or higher. You joined an association. United Community Homeschoolers Unlimited is a great one. That's me. You joined. I have given you the okay, and you can legally homeschool. You can join my association. Now you're legally homeschooling. Now, these are some things you must do under the law. Number one, you must complete 180 days in your school year. Okay? You do not have to start schooling your children when public school starts back. Okay? So maybe they start in August the 25th, I think. You don't have to start that day. We are not bound. When I say we, homeschoolers under option 3, we're not bound to homeschool under the attendance time of public school. We don't have to do that. You can start now. If you have legal status and you have all of that in place, you can start your homeschooling year now, July 24th, if you'd like. All right. Start counting from there 180 days. You have a calendar year from July 24th to July 24th to complete 180 days. Now, you could possibly do 2 school years in that time frame because there's 365 days in a year. You could do 2 years. 2 years in 1 year, 180 days and another 180 days. That just means you probably did work on the weekends and all of that, okay? All right, so you're not bound to a start date or end date. If you want to start October 24th, that's fine, long as you have joined an association to be legal and long as you maintain 180 days. That can look like you started, schooled for 6 weeks, stopped a week, took a break. Another 6 weeks, stopped a week. Or maybe you only are schooling 3 days a week. Okay, it doesn't matter, as long as you reach 180 days. That's number one. And if you have questions, just let me know. All right, so 180 days. Number 2, you have to educate your child as the parent or legal guardian. The law says that you have to be the parent or the legal guardian who is homeschooling your child, who signed up with an association, okay, who has the GED or higher. It can't be Auntie Shirley who's educating your child. She's not the legal guardian and she's not the parent. Unless she is your legal guardian, then she can, all right? So GED or higher, you must have 180 days in your schooling year, you must do. Then you have to school them in the 5 subjects of math, science, social studies, reading, and writing, okay? Those are the minimum required subjects that the law states you must do. It does not say you have to do all of those subjects every day. It says they must be in your school year, okay? So that can look a lot of different ways. You can maybe I usually do science in the fall and then do all the science I'm going to do in the fall, and then in the spring, I switch out science and now I go to social studies. Okay, I do it by semesters. Math is all year round. Reading is every day. But science and social studies I switch out. And then English, I do it sporadically throughout the year. Okay, and then we add in a lot of other things. So you have the freedom. Not every day have to do those subjects. Now, if they're 7th to 12th grade, then you add in literature and composition. Basically, reading and writing switches to literature and composition, which is writing, creative writing, essay writing, persuasive writing, comparative writing, that type of thing. So it switches out once they're 7th to 12th grade. You can add those things in. That's what the law says. Now, the law also indicates that you must, as the parent or legal guardian, must maintain records. You must, not me, you. And I'm going to make sure that you understand the law, that you're doing it. Why? Because if you ever have to go back to public school, you have these documentations. If they want to know what have they learned, what has been their progress or anything, they will be able to get that information from you. I have had so many schools contact me just this week, and it's the Wednesday, wanting records. You know what I tell them? I say, I am the association for that family. I don't maintain their records. You have to get the records from the parent. Okay, if you want to know if they're legally homeschooling and have been with me, then I can give you that information. Otherwise, you need to go to the parent because they have the records. They have whatever grades, and keeping grades is not required under the law. But if you do anything that you need as far as records, the parents have it because under the law, they are to maintain it. Now, let me tell you a sad story. I've had so many families who they decide to put their child into high school or middle school, and they did not maintain records through the year like they should. Not good. Just do your due diligence to keep basic records. And here's what you must do according to the Option 3 law. Number 1, you must keep attendance. That's really simple. I usually keep a piece of paper, make boxes on it, like 180 boxes. I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way through 180. And what I usually do is just when they have a date, I mark it out, put the date on it in that little box. Mark out the next one, day 2, and put the date in there. I do that because that helps me to see, wow, we have reached 90 days already, and we have 90 days to go. I can see it really quickly how many days we've completed and how many days we have to go. That's what I do. But the law doesn't say how to do attendance. Just keep attendance. You can keep it on a calendar if you like. Just maintain the calendar, mark it off. And you can write, this day we had it, and this was day number 1. This is the day we did it next. This is day number 2. You can do it that way. All right. Keep attendance 180 days. Number 2, you must maintain a journal or a diary or some record keeping that indicates what you all have done day to day and any field trips or outings you've done. That's what the law says, okay? Not making it up. It's what the law says. So what I do, I don't have it right here, but I have just a little notebook. You can do something as simple as a spiral notebook. This is just a spiral notebook. And write the date up here for each child if you like. And you can indicate what they did. Today they did math, pages 10 through 20. We read social studies and we talked about X, Y, and Z. Science, we did this. And you just write down some basic things, put the date on it. If you have your children do any paperwork, if this makes sense, or if you have questions, let me know. Give me some thumbs ups or hearts if you're getting it. I want to make it super plain because I do not want you to homeschool illegally in this state. There's no sense in doing it. So if you have questions, let me know. If this makes sense, give me some hearts and thumbs up. All right, so keep a journal or diary or some record keeping that indicates what you have done day to day. When my kids get to high school level, really when they're middle school age, but high school level, I give them our form. We have a form, and on the side, it just indicates all the subjects they're doing. Across it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just in case they do some work on the weekends. It's going to be a little longer than normal live. So, and my older ones are responsible for writing on their forms themselves. Thank you. I'm glad this is making sense. They're responsible for writing on their forms themselves. On Monday, I did this. On Tuesday, I did this, da, da, da. That's their responsibility. I'm preparing them for college, future, or whatever to take their responsibility of keeping their record keeping themselves. And I get really mad if they miss it and they don't write what they're supposed to do on their little form. Now, for my younger kids, all I need them to do is write a date on the work that they're doing, any paperwork, anything I have them do, write a date. They know I will hurt them if they don't put a date on their papers. Why? Because that helps me to keep my documentation on my sheet. And they've done it so many years now, they're usually used to it. So anyway, keep a journal or some type of record keeping or a diary of what you've done day to day and any field trips or outings you take. Okay, number 3, you must maintain a biannual progress report. Okay, the words are biannual. It doesn't say when in the year. Biannual means twice a year. I generally just tell families, do it middle of the year and the end of the year. That would definitely get you 2 times of the year. If you maintain in the middle of the year a progress report. The progress report is basically saying how they're progressing. I've had some families who write a long Excel sheet. Oh, it's so elaborate and it's so nice. They can do that, but you don't have to do that. Again, it can be in your same notebook. And you write for Jeremiah. Jeremiah is doing well in math, excelling and understanding 3-digit division. He's struggling a little bit on his multiplication, 9 tables is his struggle. And you just write whatever you need to write, a little paragraph or how much ever you want to write about his progress in math. And you do that for each subject. Then at the end of the year, you need to come back and do another form, a progress report write up. Again, this is for your records. So that, again, if you ever audit it or have to put them in school or whatever, you have this here. You can say, here it is. All right. You can do all of your kids in one notebook. You can have a separate notebook for each child. It just depends on how detailed you are. Okay. And you're just going to write that progress report. That's the law. biannual progress report, okay? Next, you have to, let me see, I told you the journal, progress report, biannual progress report, and there is something I am forgetting. My brain is slipping. Let me see. A portfolio, there we go. A portfolio. You have to maintain a portfolio, and the portfolio is basically, again, it can be a manila folder, it can be a 3-ring binder type of deal, that where you just pull out some samples of their work, okay, from each subject. Some samples from math, some samples from science, social studies, etc. Okay, and that's it. Those are the things you have to do. Let me just make sure I've not missed anything. Portfolio, semi-annual progress report, okay, and attendance. That's it. Okay, those are the things that you have to do to homeschool. That's it, legally. So as you can see, there's no reason to homeschool illegally, because if you are found to be homeschooling illegally, then you're opening up a whole nother can of worms you don't want to do, okay? If you have specific questions, put the comments here or on YouTube, wherever. Just send me the questions. You can email me at UCHU3rdoption@gmail.com. You can post a comment here on Facebook. You can post a comment here on YouTube. It's up to you. You can click the book it right there on Facebook if you want to talk to me by phone directly. 15-minute free consultation. I'll help you to get through what you need to. What do you do if you've already been homeschooling legally and now you know I cannot do it the way I was doing it? No worries. Just start now. Get legal. If you have a GED or higher, join the Option 3 Association or Option 1 or Option 2, whichever you choose, and let's do that. Okay, I'll come back and do another video about when to start homeschooling, at what age. That's another question I have gotten a lot the last few weeks. So I will clarify that, okay? All right, peace everyone. Again, this is Angela Jordan Perry. Do hit the share button. Get this out. You just never know how many people in the state of South Carolina are wanting to homeschool. For whatever reason, they're not doing it, afraid, nervous. Please share this. Go to my website at UCHUnlimited.com. Hit the follow button so that you can follow me there. Go to YouTube, United Community of Homeschoolers Unlimited. I have a ton of videos, of how-to videos, how to homeschool in the state, encouragement, all sorts of things. Hit the subscribe button so every time I post a video there, you get it, okay? And on Instagram, UCH Unlimited. I think that's what I have it as. And but anyway, look up United Community of Homeschoolers Unlimited. I'm going to be getting that going soon. Let me just confirm the name of it. And it is UCHU third option on Instagram. Okay, UCHU third option on Instagram. Go on over there and follow me there. Okay, so great. This is a lot of information, a long video, but I've talked to too many people recently who are homeschooling illegally, and they really don't have to at all. They just didn't know. They had no clue. All right, now you know, and knowing is power, so you're without excuse. Let me see. I got some comments. Let me see what these are, if I can find them, if I can see them. Okay. I got some comments, if I can get to them. Can you just give grades on progress reports? Great question, Linda. Can you just put a grade on the progress report? No, the progress report should have some information, some written out information to explain progress, okay? Progress or need to improve or still haven't gotten there or something like that. You need to actually indicate something more than progress reports. More than just a grade, okay? You can add the grade on there, but you want to actually spell out what did they progress in? What did that progress look like? Okay, so very good question. Any more questions? Let me know while I'm still here, or you can definitely post them later and I'll get back and answer them later, okay? Very good. All right, take care. Peace. Again, this is Angela Jordan Perry, the Option 3 Accountability Association owner, director, and administrator of United Community of Homeschoolers Unlimited. Peace.